Caroline Leavitt, unexpectedly appeared in a small town to meet a bullied teenager, but when she stepped forward to face the boy, something extraordinary happened. Before diving into the story, comment where you're watching from and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the latest stories. In the snow-covered small town of Clearview, New Hampshire, Lucas Bennett, 16, sat alone in the Clearview High School cafeteria. Carrying his late father's programming notebook, Lucas was passionate about developing artificial intelligence and autonomous robots, dreaming of future automated systems, but that passion made him a target. At his table, Lucas's AI code was interrupted when Tyler Hayes, an arrogant senior, snatched his laptop and shouted, "Tech geek dreaming of being Tony Stark." The laughter of Tyler's friends echoed through the room, cutting into Lucas's pride like a knife. Every day Tyler and his crew turned Lucas's pride into shame. The breaking point came when his autonomous robot project for the science fair, an intelligent navigation AI, was sabotaged. Tyler not only deleted the code but also recorded a video, posting it on X with the caption, "Tech Geek Fails." The video spread quickly, followed by mocking comments. Lucas, once an outstanding student, withdrew into his room. His computer, once glowing with lines of code, now sat dark. In the small house, the faint light of the kitchen lamp shone on an empty dining table, once covered with Lucas Bennett's programming notes. Now Lucas, 16, stayed shut in his room, his father's programming notebook lying untouched on the shelf. His computer, once alive with AI code, was now black, like his dreams. Sophie, Lucas's single mother, came home heavy-hearted. She noticed her son was no longer the lively boy who talked about autonomous robots. Instead, Lucas was silent, his eyes empty, as if the fire in him had been extinguished by Tyler Hayes' mockery and sabotage. That night, Sophie sat by Lucas, trying to talk. "Son, what's wrong? I know you're stronger than this." Lucas looked down, whispering, "They deleted everything, Mom, the code, everything." His voice broke as he recounted the moment his AI project was erased. Tyler's video went viral on X, and cruel comments like "Tech Geek Fails" weighed on his mind. Sophie hugged him, her heart aching. She remembered her own days as an immigrant woman mocked for her accent or origins, but she had overcome it, and now she was determined to help Lucas find himself again. Sophie refused to give up. She recalled the Innovate Without Fear program, a White House STEM initiative to encourage young science enthusiasts. Hearing that Caroline Leavitt, the youngest White House press secretary in history, was behind it, Sophie had an idea. Sitting at an old computer, she wrote a letter to the program, describing Lucas's talent, coding AI since age 8, staying up late programming robots, and the pain he was enduring. "My son deserves to shine," she wrote, "but he's losing faith. Please help." Not stopping there, Sophie opened the X app on her phone. She posted a short message, tagging Caroline Leavitt, and using #GenZaphites back. "My son Lucas, 16, has coded AI since he was little, but he's bullied for his passion. His science project was destroyed, and he's losing hope. At Caroline Leavitt, please send encouragement." She attached a photo of Lucas's AI code, the neat lines like a work of art. The post got a few shares with comforting words, but Sophie didn't expect much. She just hoped for a small spark for her son. In Washington, D.C., Caroline Leavitt, 27, had just finished a tense press briefing. In a navy dress, she sharply countered reporters trying to trap her on President Trump's policies. As the Gen Z face of the White House, Caroline brought a new style, live streaming on X, inviting TikTokers to press briefings, and fearlessly calling out the media. But behind her confidence, she understood the pressure of being doubted. Once called too young or just a spokesperson, Caroline fought to prove her worth, driven by perseverance and Catholic faith. That evening in her small apartment, Caroline scrolled through X to unwind. Sophie's post appeared, with a photo of Lucas's AI code. She paused, reading every word. Lucas's story touched her heart. A talented teen crushed for daring to dream big. Caroline recalled her days in New Hampshire, doubted in politics and mocked for her youth. "No one should extinguish a child's dream," she whispered, her eyes lighting up. Caroline sprang into action. She texted her team, asking them to find information on Lucas and Clearview High School. She called Miss Harper, Lucas's technology teacher, who had praised his talent but felt helpless against the bullying. "I want to meet Lucas," Caroline said. "But keep it a secret. I want to surprise him." Miss Harper agreed, moved by Caroline's passion. Caroline planned to visit Clearview that weekend. She prepared a special gift, a signed AI book by Google engineers, and an invitation to a STEM conference in Washington, D.C. She imagined Lucas's smile when he received it. She also considered live streaming the visit on X, turning Lucas's story into inspiration for millions. "This isn't just about Lucas," Caroline told herself. "It's about every kid bullied for being different." Snow fell lightly on Clearview, New Hampshire's narrow roads as a sleek black SUV glided past the old Leavitt family ice cream shop, drawing curious glances from locals. Inside, Caroline Leavitt, the 27-year-old White House press secretary, reviewed Sophie Bennett's X post. The photo of Lucas's AI code, its lines as elegant as a technical symphony, made her smile. In an elegant navy dress and low heels, Caroline embodied Gen Z style, professional yet approachable, like she'd just stepped out of a live stream. She held a small package, a signed AI book by Google engineers and a special letter, ready to change a teenager's life. Caroline had planned carefully. After contacting Miss Harper, Lucas's tech teacher, she insisted on keeping the visit a secret. "I want Lucas to feel hope," she said over the phone the night before, her voice full of resolve. Miss Harper, who had watched Lucas suffer helplessly, was touched by Caroline's dedication. Now, as the SUV stopped outside the Bennett's small house, Caroline took a deep breath, praying silently as was her Catholic habit. She stepped out, flashes from nearby students' phones flickering. News of a big figure in Clearview was already spreading. Sophie opened the door, her eyes widening as she recognized Caroline. "You, Miss Leavitt?" she stammered, hands trembling. Caroline smiled warmly. "Hi, Sophie. Is Lucas home?" Sophie nodded, calling her son with a choked voice. Lucas, in a gray hoodie, stepped out from his bedroom, eyes wary. He froze when he saw Caroline, the woman he'd only seen in TV press briefings, now standing in his living room. "Hi, Lucas," Caroline said sincerely. "I heard you're a talented programmer, but someone's trying to crush your dreams. I'm here to tell you, they're wrong." Lucas looked down, still processing reality. Caroline sat on the old sofa, sharing her story. "When I started at the White House, people called me too young, just a talking head. I was doubted, mocked. But I didn't give up, because I believed in what I did. You, Lucas, have to believe in yourself." Her words were like a breeze through Lucas's clouded mind. He looked up, a spark of hope in his eyes for the first time in weeks. Caroline handed Lucas the gift. He opened it, hands shaking, revealing the book Artificial Intelligence, the Future, with signatures from Google engineers. Inside was an invitation to a White House STEM conference in Washington, D.C. "You deserve this chance," Caroline said. "Your AI project isn't just code, it's the future. Rebuild it, stronger." Lucas clutched the book like a lifeline. Sophie wiped tears, hugging Caroline. "Thank you," she whispered. "You gave my son hope." Caroline didn't stop there. She pulled out her phone, opened X, and recorded a short video in the Bennett's living room. "I'm in Clearview, New Hampshire with Lucas Bennett, a talented young programmer bullied for his STEM passion," she said, panning to Lucas, who shyly covered his face. "This is a message to every young person: don't let anyone crush your dreams. Lucas, we believe in you." She posted it with #GenZivFightsBack and #InnovateWithoutFear. Within minutes, the post got hundreds of shares, with comments flooding in: "Lucas, you're a star," and "Caroline, you're amazing." News of Caroline's visit spread fast in Clearview. At Clearview High, students buzzed with talk. Some who had mocked Lucas now whispered, "Tech geek knows Caroline Leavitt." Tyler Hayes, Lucas's bully, heard the news in class, his face darkening. He felt the pressure of a powerful figure like Caroline backing Lucas. The school administration, which had ignored the bullying, now called Miss Harper for an urgent meeting, worried about media attention. Caroline stayed in Clearview another hour, talking to Lucas about AI programming. She asked about his robot navigation algorithm, listening with genuine curiosity. Have you thought about using machine learning to optimize paths? She suggested, drawing on knowledge from STEM workshops she'd attended. Lucas, smiling for the first time in weeks, shared ideas for a self-learning AI to adjust robot trajectories. Caroline nodded, impressed. You've got the makings of a Google engineer, she said, making Lucas blush. Before leaving, Caroline turned to Sophie. You did well not giving up on Lucas. Now it's his turn to shine. She shook Sophie's hand, then looked at Lucas. I'll be watching you, don't let me down. As her SUV rolled out of Clearview, Caroline's eyes glowed with conviction. She knew her ex-post would stir the nation, but more importantly, she had planted a seed of hope in Lucas. Meanwhile, at the Bennett house, the old desk lamp's light shone on artificial intelligence, the future, where Lucas quietly flipped through the Google engineer's signatures. The invitation to the Washington, D.C. STEM conference, sent by Caroline Leavitt, sat beside his father's programming notebook. Her words echoed, "You deserve this chance. Rebuild it stronger." After weeks in darkness, Lucas felt a spark. Lucas opened his father's notebook, flipping to the page with the robot navigation algorithm Tyler had deleted. He took a deep breath, opened his laptop and started coding again. But this time, he wasn't just restoring, he wanted to do better. Inspired by the Google book, Lucas had an idea to improve the self-learning AI, optimizing robot paths with machine learning algorithms. The computer, silent for days, lit up with new code. Sophie, entering with a mug of hot tea, smiled seeing her son himself again. "I knew you could do it," she said, eyes sparkling. At Clearview High, the atmosphere shifted. Caroline's video spread through town, making Lucas the center of attention. In tech class, Miss Harper introduced two new students to Lucas's STEM project. Mia, a 15-year-old interface design enthusiast with purple-dyed hair and a bright smile, and Noah, a 16-year-old robotics lover, always carrying a repair toolkit. "We saw Miss Leavitt's video," Mia said excitedly. "You need a team, right?" Lucas, though shy, nodded. Unused to attention, their sincerity opened him up. The three began working in the school's computer lab, where old machines still ran AI simulations. Lucas explained the project, a self-learning AI to navigate robots through complex environments, like automated warehouses. Mia suggested designing an interface to visualize the robot's path, while Noah built a small robot model for testing. But challenges arose. The first algorithm failed, with the simulated robot crashing repeatedly. Lucas, frustrated, recalled the deleted code. Mia, sensing his discouragement, patted his shoulder. "You coded since you were 8. Now you've got us, you'll do better." One evening, Sophie cooked Lucas's favorite spaghetti, inviting Mia and Noah. Over dinner, she shared stories of Lucas's father, who coded simple games and taught Lucas his first lines of code. "Your dad said, every bug is a step to success," Sophie said, making Lucas smile. The story reignited their drive, and the group returned to the lab with renewed spirit. Lucas devised a solution, tweaking the machine learning algorithm to let the robot learn from collision errors, based on a model from the Google book. The new simulation ran smoothly, with the robot moving more accurately. Meanwhile, Caroline's ex-post kept spreading, catching the eye of a Google engineer, Dr. Anika Patel. In a video call arranged by Miss Harper, Dr. Patel reviewed Lucas's code, nodding in approval. "You're on the right track with machine learning," she said. "Try integrating a deeper neural network for better accuracy." Lucas jotted down every word, feeling like he was talking to someone from the future he dreamed of. Patel promised to follow the project, fueling Lucas's determination. At school, Lucas gained more attention. Some who mocked him now asked about AI, curiously. But Lucas stayed focused on the project. Still, fear of failure lingered. One night, working late, Lucas confessed to Mia and Noah, "What if I fail again? Everyone's expecting so much." Noah, glancing at the code-filled screen, said, "You know how many times Google crashed, but they kept going." "So should you," Mia added. "You're not alone anymore, Lucas. We're a team." Sophie, seeing her son working late, brought a blanket to the computer lab. She sat beside Lucas, watching the robot simulation run on the screen. "You make me proud," she said, hugging him. Lucas nodded, feeling strength from family and friends. He opened the Google book, reading a signed note, "Never stop creating from code to the future." The message fueled him, driving him to work with renewed energy. Beyond Clearview, Caroline's post reached tens of thousands of shares. The hashtags #GensFightsBack and #Innovate Without Fear trended on X, sparking similar stories from bullied students. Local newspapers contacted Miss Harper, wanting to interview Lucas, but Lucas paid no attention. He just wanted to perfect the AI. Unbeknownst to him, in Washington, D.C., Caroline was tracking his progress through Miss Harper, smiling when she heard Lucas had formed a team and improved the algorithm. In Clearview High School's computer lab, the screen's glow lit up Lucas Bennett's autonomous robot simulation, its self-learning AI, navigating a digital maze smoothly. With Mia and Noah, Lucas refined the code, integrating a deeper neural network as suggested by Google's Dr. Anika Patel. But despite the project's progress, the pressure weighed heavier on Lucas. Caroline Leavitt's live stream on X had made him a focal point, not just in Clearview, but across social media. Comments like "Lucas, you're the future," and "Tech Geek will lead," were both encouraging and terrifying. What if he failed again, in front of the world? One morning, in tech class, Lucas unexpectedly faced Tyler Hayes, the boy who deleted his AI code, walked in, avoiding eye contact. Since Caroline's video spread, Tyler had grown quiet, his taunts gone. But today when Miss Harper assigned group work, Lucas and Tyler were paired. The air was tense. Lucas, gripping his father's notebook, took a deep breath and said, "Tyler, if you want, you can join our STEM club." Mia and Noah were stunned. Tyler, caught off guard, mumbled, "I'll think about it." He walked away, but Lucas saw a flicker of hesitation in his eyes, something new. Unbeknownst to Lucas, Tyler was under his own pressure. His father, a strict factory manager, scolded him for causing trouble that drew the school's attention. After deleting Lucas's code, Tyler was suspended for 3 days and forced to attend an anti-bullying education program. In those sessions, he heard stories about the consequences of bullying, prompting self-reflection. He had been jealous of Lucas, praised by Miss Harper, noticed by Caroline Leavitt, but now he felt lost. Though he wouldn't admit it, Lucas's offer stirred him, like a door he wasn't ready to open. Meanwhile, Lucas faced his own inner pressure. One night in the computer lab, he sat alone, staring at the robot simulation. The regional science fair was weeks away, and he feared failing to meet Caroline's, Sophie's, or his own expectations. He opened his father's notebook, reading a handwritten note. "Every bug is a step to success," but fear clung to him. "What if I mess up again?" he whispered, hands trembling. Memories of Tyler's video and the cafeteria laughter flooded back like a tidal wave. Miss Harper noticed Lucas's stress. She called him to her office, placing a hand on his shoulder. "Lucas, you've done incredible things at your age. The fair isn't everything, it's just a start. Would you present your project at the school assembly? Show everyone who you are?" Lucas hesitated. Standing before the school where he was mocked felt like a nightmare. But Mia and Noah, overhearing, chimed in. "You can do it, Lucas," Mia said, eyes shining. "We'll handle the interface." Noah added, "You got the robot running on screen. Now make it run for the school." Lucas, though anxious, nodded. He wanted to prove he was no longer the weak tech geek. As Lucas headed home, his phone buzzed. A message from Caroline Leavitt on X. "Lucas, I hear you're working hard. You're stronger than you think. Show the world." It included a robot emoji. Lucas smiled, feeling like Caroline was right there. The message gave him strength, but also added pressure. He didn't want to let down the woman who left the White House to visit Clearview just to believe in him. That night, Sophie saw Lucas up late, checking the AI simulation. She brought a mug of tea and sat beside him. "I remember you saying you wanted robots to change how we live," she said gently. "Whatever happens at the fair, I'm proud you didn't give up." Lucas hugged her, comforted, but after she left, he stared at the screen, conflicted. He opened the Google book, reading about the failed algorithms of Waymo's project. They failed too, he told himself. I can too. At school, word of Lucas's assembly presentation spread. Some students were curious, but there were whispers. Tech Geek putting on a show. Tyler, hearing them, stayed silent. He rewatched Caroline's X video, seeing thousands supporting Lucas. Part of him wanted to change, but he didn't know where to start. Meanwhile, Mia and Noah helped Lucas prepare. Mia designed the presentation interface. Noah checked the robot model. The group worked late, laughing, making Lucas feel he wasn't alone. As moonlight streamed through the computer lab window, Lucas stood before the screen, checking the algorithm one last time. He thought of Caroline, his father, and those who believed in him. "I can do this," he whispered, clutching the notebook. But deep down, he knew the school assembly would be his biggest test, not just to prove himself to Clearview, but to overcome his own fears. The Clearview High School auditorium glowed under stage lights, where Lucas Bennett, 16, stood beside a small autonomous robot model. The crowd of students, teachers and parents filled the seats, murmurs rising as Lucas gripped his father's programming notebook, palms sweaty. Just weeks ago, he was the mock tech geek. His AI code deleted by Tyler Hayes and his friends. Now thanks to Caroline Leavitt, Mia, Noah and his own perseverance, Lucas stood here, ready to present at the school assembly. But fear clung to him. If he stuttered, if the simulation failed, the eyes would mock him again. Mia, at the wings, checked the presentation slides on the projector, whispering, "You've got this, Lucas." Noah, holding the robot model, nodded encouragement. Miss Harper, in the front row, smiled reassuringly. Lucas took a deep breath, recalling Caroline's message, "You're stronger than you think." He began, voice shaky. "Today, I want to introduce a self-learning AI for autonomous robot navigation." The first slide appeared, displaying the meticulous code he rewrote, improved with a deep neural network from Google's resources. At first, Lucas stumbled, his eyes scanning the crowd for faces that once mocked him. But as he explained how the AI self-adjusted paths in complex environments, his voice steadied. "It could help robots work in warehouses, cities, or even Mars," he said, eyes lighting up. The crowd, expecting an awkward show, grew attentive. A student whispered, "He's actually good." Mia, from the wings, gave a thumbs up. Lucas pointed to the robot model, describing the machine learning algorithm. He pressed a button, launching the simulation on the screen. The robot navigated a digital maze, avoiding obstacles. The crowd gasped, some clapping. Lucas smiled, feeling heard for the first time. He ended with a heartfelt line, "I used to think I wasn't good enough. But I learned that if you dare to dream, no one can stop you." The auditorium erupted in applause. Mia and Noah cheered. Sophie, at the back, wiped tears. Miss Harper took the stage, hugging Lucas. "You did outstandingly," she said, then addressed the audience. "Lucas will represent Clearview at the regional science fair." The applause roared louder. In the back row, Tyler Hayes sat quietly, phone in hand, re-watching Caroline's video. He jotted something down, his expression complex. Though not ready to say it, he began respecting Lucas, not just for Caroline's attention, but for the perseverance he witnessed today. After the presentation, Lucas got a surprise. A group of students, including some who stayed silent during his bullying, came to shake his hand. A shy girl handed him a letter, reading, "I'm bullied too. Thank you for giving me courage." Lucas read it, heart warmed. Mia suggested, "You should start a STEM club to help kids like her." Noah agreed. "Call it Code the Future, yeah." Lucas nodded, feeling like more than a programmer, a source of inspiration. That evening, Lucas's phone buzzed. A video call from Caroline Leavitt. On screen, she wore a casual sweater, sitting in a White House office. "Lucas, Miss Harper told me about your presentation. You were amazing," she said, voice radiant. "Google's watching you, you know. I want to invite you to speak at the STEM conference in Washington, D.C. You ready?" Lucas, stunned, stammered. Yes ma'am." Caroline laughed. "Call me Caroline. And Lucas, keep dreaming big." The call ended, but her words warmed Lucas like a flame. Sophie, overhearing, hugged her son. "You make me proud," she said, eyes shining. Lucas told her about the Code the Future Club idea. Sophie nodded. Your dad would be smiling from above. He opened his father's notebook, flipping to the last page, a note, "Create for others, like a spark of tech." Lucas felt a new mission, not just coding, but helping other young people rise above darkness. Meanwhile, Caroline's X post kept spreading, reaching hundreds of thousands of views. The hashtags #GensFightsBack and #Innovate Without Fear inspired students across America to share their bullying stories. A local newspaper contacted Miss Harper, wanting to interview Lucas. At school, Tyler quietly signed up for the STEM club, saying nothing to Lucas. He started watching AI videos, curious about the world he once mocked. Early morning at the convention center in Manchester, New Hampshire, Lucas Bennett, Mia and Noah busily set up their booth for the regional science fair. Lucas's small autonomous robot model, with its self-learning navigation AI, gleamed under the lights. Nearby was a detailed display board, showing code from his father's notebook, and a path simulation designed by Mia. Lucas, wearing a white shirt ironed by Sophie, felt his heart race. Dozens of other booths, from prestigious schools with cutting-edge equipment, made him nervous. But Caroline Leavitt's words echoed, "You're stronger than you think." He clutched the Google book, ready to face the challenge. The fair buzzed with students and judges weaving through. Lucas eyed competitors. A group from Concord showcased an AI drone. A student from Exeter presented an environmental sensor. Mia, checking the interface on the laptop, whispered, "You're not behind them, Lucas." Noah, holding a small camera to post on X, grinned, "Tech geek's gonna conquer the region." Lucas smiled, but the pressure weighed heavy. He thought of Sophie, seated in the audience, and his father, who once said, "You'll shape the future." When the judges arrived, Lucas began his presentation. Sarah Lynn, an AI engineer from MIT, listened intently. Lucas explained the machine learning algorithm, pointing to the model. The AI self-adjusts paths, boosting efficiency by 20% in complex environments, like automated warehouses. Mia displayed the simulation, showing the robot smoothly avoiding obstacles. Noah added performance data, highlighting applications in logistics. Lynn asked sharply, "Have you tested with real-time data?" Lucas, recalling Dr. Patel's advice, replied, "I integrated a deeper neural network, improving simulation accuracy by 10%. Lynn nodded, jotting notes, her eyes impressed. Lucas's booth quickly drew a crowd. A student asked, "How did you get past the stuff at school?" Lucas smiled, "I had family, friends, and someone who believed in me." He thought of Caroline, who turned him from a mocked tech geek into a STEM star. Sophie, from the audience, wiped tears, proud to see her son shine. Miss Harper, also present, whispered to a parent, "This kid's going far." Unexpectedly, Lucas spotted Tyler Hayes at the fair's edge, in a hoodie, quietly watching. After the school assembly, Tyler had joined Lucas's STEM club, though he said little. Lucas took a deep breath and approached. "You here to check it out?" he asked. Tyler nodded, voice low, Aye. I'm sorry, for what I did before. Your project, it's really cool." Lucas, stunned, smiled. "Thanks. Want to join the club? We need people." Tyler nodded slightly, his eyes brightening. The brief reconciliation felt significant, like a turning point for both. The award announcement arrived. Lucas, Mia, and Noah held hands, anxious. As Lynn stepped to the podium, the hall hushed. First place goes to Lucas Bennett, Clearview High School, for his groundbreaking robot navigation AI. The crowd erupted. Sophie sobbed, hugging Miss Harper. Lucas, dazed, walked up to receive a trophy and a full scholarship for the computer science program at the University of New Hampshire. Mia and Noah jumped, shouting, "Tech Geek's the champ." Lucas laughed, feeling like he was coding the future. That evening, Caroline Leavitt posted on X, "Congratulations to Lucas Bennett, Regional Science Fair Champion. Your proof of #Innovate Without Fear. See you in Washington, D.C." The post, with a photo of Lucas holding his trophy, garnered tens of thousands of shares. Caroline announced that Innovate Without Fear would expand nationwide, inspired by Lucas. Hashtags #GensFightsBack and #Code. The future trended, inspiring students everywhere to share stories of overcoming bullying. In Clearview, news of Lucas's win spread fast. A local paper published, "Clearview Teen Conquers Science Fair, thanks to Caroline Leavitt." Lucas's Code the Future Club received dozens of sign-ups, including from students who once stayed silent during his bullying. Tyler, now a member, began studying AI, quietly making amends. Miss Harper held a school celebration, with students painting banners. Lucas, STEM star. Sophie hosted a dinner at home, inviting Mia, Noah, and Miss Harper. The table was again covered with code notes, like old times. Sophie raised a glass of lemonade, saying, "To you, Lucas, and to your dad, who always believed you'd change the world." Lucas hugged her, feeling unprecedented pride. He opened his father's notebook, seeing the note, "Create for others." He knew today's victory wasn't just his, but for all who dared to dream big. The kitchen light in the Bennett family's small Clearview, New Hampshire home glowed brightly, illuminating a table strewn with code notes and AI interface sketches. Lucas Bennett, 16, sat amid the papers, tweaking a new algorithm for his autonomous robot, his regional science fair trophy nearby. The Code the Future Club he founded after the school assembly had become a beacon of inspiration, not just in Clearview but across the region. Sophie, Lucas's mom, brought out a plate of cookies, smiling. "Son, take a break." Lucas nodded, his eyes shining like the days he dreamed of future automation with his dad. Code the Future grew rapidly. Over 50 Clearview High students joined, from AI enthusiasts to those bullied for tech passions. Mia, with her interface design flair, built a club app, sharing coding tutorials and Lucas's story. Noah ran robotics workshops, teaching others to build small robots. Tyler Hayes, who once deleted Lucas's code, was now an active member, quietly studying machine learning. Once, he handed Lucas an optimized code snippet, shyly. "Is this okay?" Lucas smiled. "Pretty good, Tyler. Keep it up." Tyler's change proved even those who caused pain could find a new path. News of Lucas spread far. A week after the fair, he received dozens of letters from students across America, sharing stories of being bullied for loving coding or design. One read, "I quit coding because of mockery. You made me want to try again." Lucas read each letter, replying with encouragement, "Don't let them crush your dreams. You're stronger than you think." He recalled Caroline Leavitt, who transformed him from a mocked tech geek into a symbol of resilience. The letters were pinned to his room's wall, beside his father's notebook, as a reminder of his mission. Caroline, from Washington, D.C., kept tabs on Lucas. Her ex-post about his fair win reached hundreds of thousands of shares, fueling the nationwide expansion of Innovate Without Fear. She contacted Miss Harper, proposing to integrate Code the Future into a national STEM network. One day, Lucas got an email from Caroline. "Ready to speak at the DC STEM conference? Google wants to meet you." Lucas, floored, called Mia and Noah. "Guys, I'm speaking at the White House." Mia shouted, "Tech geeks going to DC." Noah laughed. "Don't forget the robot model." The conference took place in a grand DC hall. Lucas, in a borrowed suit from a neighbor, stood on stage beside Caroline in a vibrant red dress. Before hundreds of scientists, students and officials, Lucas shared his story from the days Tyler deleted his code to Caroline's visit to Clearview and his fair victory. "I used to think I wasn't good enough," he said, voice steady. "But I learned that with one person believing in you, you can change everything." Caroline, clapping first, whispered, "You did great, Lucas." The crowd gave a standing ovation, and Google's Dr. Patel shook Lucas's hand, inviting him to a summer internship program. Back in Clearview, the town had changed. The old Leavitt family ice cream shop hung a banner, "Congrats Lucas Bennett, STEM star." The school held a STEM day, with students presenting projects from AI to robots. Tyler, now a club assistant, helped a new student code. Miss Harper shared news. Code the Future received Google funding, with volunteer engineers mentoring. Lucas, Mia, and Noah planned to open club branches in nearby schools, determined to give every STEM student a voice. One evening, Sophie hosted a family dinner, inviting Mia, Noah, and Miss Harper. The table overflowed with code notes, like when Lucas was young. Sophie raised a glass, "To you and to all young dreamers." Lucas hugged her, thanking her for never giving up. After dinner, he got a message from Caroline. "Lucas, ready for the White House summer STEM project. You're the future," he smiled, replying, "Ready, Caroline. Thanks for believing in me." As night fell, Lucas stepped into the backyard, gazing at the starry skylights glowed on Lucas Bennett's desk in his Clearview, New Hampshire bedroom. illuminating his regional science fair trophy, Google's letter and letters from students pinned to the wall. A shooting star streaked across, like a message from his dad. He opened the notebook, seeing the note, "Create for others like a spark of tech." Lucas whispered, "I'm doing it, Dad." The fair trophy, Google's letter and students' letters on his wall marked his journey from a bullied teen to a leader. With Caroline, Sophie, Mia, Noah, and even Tyler by his side, Lucas knew he wasn't just coding, he was shaping the future. The story Caroline Leavitt storms town, looking for bullied teen, reflects real challenges in the U.S. today, especially school bullying and pressures on teens pursuing STEM. Lucas, a student passionate about artificial intelligence and autonomous robots, had his code deleted and was mocked by Tyler Hayes, representing the 20% of U.S. students bullied annually, per the CDC, causing psychological harm and hindering dreams. Caroline Leavitt's intervention, using her White House press secretary role to post an X video and inspire through Innovate Without Fear, highlights the power of social media and national initiatives in advancing STEM education, like those of the National Science Foundation. Tyler's shift from bully to Code the Future member shows the potential of anti-bullying education, common in U.S. schools, to change behavior. Lucas's club, supporting isolated students, underscores the value of community in America, where movements like #StopBullying promote inclusion, and Miss Harper, connecting Lucas to Caroline and Google, reminds us that U.S. teachers play a vital role in opening STEM opportunities for students. The lesson is to persist in your passions and uplift others despite adversity. Like Lucas, you can overcome fear of failure with family, friends, and inspirers. If you witness bullying, act. A post on X like Sophie's can spark change. Learn from Tyler, own your mistakes, and join in building a positive community. Finally, as Code the Future shows, sharing STEM passion can turn a town like Clearview into a beacon, embodying America's spirit of innovation and unity today. Subscribe to the channel to follow the inspiring journeys of young coders like Lucas Bennett. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video with more inspiring STEM stories.